Okay, I'm not gonna say crazy tough, but it really, for me, it was crazy tough. I had to work on it to get there. Certainly always looking at something, always wondering, can you do it? And, so I saw this on the internet. I do recommend watching this guy's video. If you just click on it, watch the video. But, people were saying, oh, the partial fraction is really tough to do. And yeah, it is tough to do, but also the method that this link provides to you was also tough, all right? I can't say there's any easy way to do the integral, except if you're going to use a computer algebra system. So I try to do partial fractions, and I'll do it in pieces for you. Now, the first thing I notice is I got to factor x6 plus 1. And the first thing I notice is it looks like the sum of perfect cubes. Let me write that down for you. All right, that's the same thing as x6 plus 1. And then I notice it's related to this over here, a cubed plus b cubed is equal to a plus b. And then you get a squared minus ab plus b squared. All right, what do you get there? Let's write this down. You get, you would get a squared, x squared, x squared plus 1. Then you get this, the a squared, which is going to be x4, minus x squared times 1, which is x squared. And then you get the b squared, which is 1, so it's going to just be 1 squared, which is 1. All right? So that's probably the first step to do that. And it doesn't look that bad. And someone says, why are you doing that? So we can do partial fractions. Let's write that down for you. So I'm going to write down 1 over x6 plus 1 can most likely be broken into easily into two fractions where the denominators are x squared plus 1 plus, well, this is a fourth degree one. That's more difficult, certainly. But I'm just going one step at a time. And now certainly I'm looking for something to do, and I'm going to say a, and over here I'm going to say bx squared plus c. Now I realize some people may question why am I not putting a cx plus d down? I'm kind of looking at it and realizing, I don't need that. So I'm going to just, multiply it through. I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. And let's see what we get over there. Multiply both sides with the LCD. You get 1 equals a times x4 minus, well, let's see, x squared plus 1 plus, this would be bx squared plus c times x squared plus 1. Now certainly if you want, you can equate coefficients, and that's fine. You can multiply it out. That's when you multiply it out, equate coefficients. Or you could just simply select numbers that appear to be easy to you. Let me do that. And what I'm going to do is select the easy numbers for me. I'll select x to be 0. And you would get 1. Then you would get a. And if I selected x to be 0, I'd get c times, let's see, just c. I pick another easy number. By the way, I have 3 unknowns. Right, I have a, b, and c unknown to me. And a plus c must equal 1 now. All right. I'm going to pick 1 and see what I come up with. On the left side, I get 1. On the right side, you can get a. 1 minus 1 plus 1 is 1, so you just get a. And then I get, let's see, you get, I'm choosing 1, right? So I get b plus c. And that would be times 2. All right? Now, if you chose minus 1, you're going to get the same result because this is an even problem. So I got to choose a different number, and I'll choose x to be 2 now. It's more difficult. But again, I have 3 unknowns. I need 3 equations. You get 1. Well, let's see. 2 to the 4th power is 2 times 2 is 4, 8, 16. So 16 minus 4 is 12, and 12 plus 1 is 13. So 13 a's. Plus, well, let's see, you get 4b plus c. Again, I'm choosing 2. And 2 squared is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So I'm going to write down as a matrix, augmented matrix, because it's easier for me to solve. I'll put the first one down. I'm doing the ABC. So 1, there is no B, and there's a C. I'll put a line here for inequality. and that equals 1. Then go to the next line. What do you get there? You get 1, 2, 2, 1. That was pretty easy. Next one, what do you get? You get 13. I'm doing the ABC, by the way. 20. And then you get 5, and that equals 1. All right? So I'm going to say that I think I can do this by doing elementary row operations, and I think it's going to work out pretty nicely. Let me write them down for you. So the first thing I want to do is, let's take a look at this. I'm going to say -1, row 1, plus row 2, and give it to row 2. Well, let me kind of do that. You get, -1 plus 1 is 0. Let's see, then you get 2. And let's see, you get 1. Let me sure I'm doing this right. -1 plus 1 is 0. -0 plus 2 is 2. -1 plus 2 is 1. And -1 plus 1 is 0. All right? I'm going to get my eraser out because I realize that, the very tedious keep writing this over and over again. And I want to erase that second row now and put down the new row. And that's 0, 2, 1, 0. I'm going to do my second step. And my second step is going to be -13, row 1, plus row 3, and give that to row 3. So you're going to get 0. You're going to get 20. Let's see, -13 and 5 is -8. And -13 and 1 is going to be -12. Now those numbers are pretty big, so I'm gonna do a third step before I write it down, and I'm gonna do 1/4 row, and this is row 3 now, and give it back to row 3. All right, and that's pretty easy to do. And let me write that down now. So we're gonna erase this over here. And what do you get? Well, 1/4 of 0 is 0. Whoops. Did it again. 1/4 of 20 is 5. 1/4 of -8 is -2. And 1/4 of -12 is -3. All right, I'm going to go to my fourth step. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, let's see, 2 row 2 plus row 3 and give it to row 3. Let's do that. I'm going to get 0. Let's see, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 plus 5 is 9. Then you get 2 minus 2, which is 0. And let's see, 2 times 0 is 0, and then you get -3. I'm going to get my eraser out. I'm going to erase this now. You know what, I'm going to do a fifth step too. I'm going to multiply row 3 now by 1/3. And give it to row 3. And what do you get there? You're going to get 0, 3, 0, -1. All right, I got my matrix in a form that's going to be easy to read now. All right, what do I know? I know 3b is equal to -1. What does that tell me? It tells me b is -1/3. That came from this third row. All right, let's put the second row down now. What do you get? You get 2b, which is -2/3. I'm doing the second row. Plus 1c has to be equal to 0. Well, c is going to be 2/3. I'm going to back up a tiny little bit. I'm going to back up to the first row. And what do I get there? I get a plus the b. Well, the b is -1, not plus b, I'm sorry. Plus the c, which is 2/3. And that equals 1. All right, what does that tell me? That tells me a is 1/3. All right, so this is, kind of successful. I want to make sure you understand what I mean by that. The a is 1/3. I just did this. The b is -1/3. We did that. And then the c was 2/3. We did that. Oops. So what I gotta do is I have to rewrite, right? How do you do that? I would say just rewrite it. What do you get over here? Well, you get x squared plus 1, and the a turned out to be 1/3. I'll write this down. Then plus, this is x4 minus x squared plus 1. What was the b? The b was minus 1/3 x squared. And what was the c was 2/3, right? I don't like the way that's written, so I'm going to factor out the third on the first term. You get 1/3 times 1 over x squared plus 1. I'm going to factor out minus 1/3 now. What do you get there? X squared minus 2 over x4 minus x squared plus 1. All right, we've met our first goal, and our first goal is this over here, 1/3 times 1 over x squared plus 1 minus 1/3 x squared minus 2 x4 minus x squared plus 1. Then we're going to move on to the next step in the partial fractions. Thank you.